Welcome to the deep dive. Sometimes you just need to turn off the national news cycle for a bit. So this week, we are going hyper-local. We're diving into what I think is maybe the best kind of source material you can find.
Oh, yeah.
The weekly police and sheriff reports from Antigo, and we should probably say it right, Antigo.
Antigo, right, and all of Langlade County.
Exactly.
We've got the logs here from December 2nd through the 9th of 2025. And really, if you want a shortcut to what makes a community tick, this is it.
Photo.
We're not just looking for crime. We're doing a kind of, local anthropology, looking for the patterns that show up when it gets cold and the roads get slick.
That's the mission, right? We're looking for the wild, the weird, and just that unique flavor of small-town life. It's the dirty tea that locals know best. What really happens in Langlade when the cold hits.
And that is the perfect place to start, because when you look at these reports, the first thing that stands out is that the biggest threats, well, they aren't criminal, they're environmental. It's all about physics, wildlife, and just a challenge of getting around.
Okay, let's get into it then. Segment 1, winter road warriors and ditch divers. The sheer number of just head-scratching vehicle incidents really tells the story.
And the week started with a real mystery. Tuesday, really early in Antigo, near Superior Street and 10th Avenue, a rollover was reported.
Okay.
But the weird part, when officers got there, the vehicle was in the ditch, flipped over, and it's completely empty.
A ghost crash.
A total ghost crash.
It's like the car just gave up on its own, and that theme, the unoccupied car, it actually comes up again.
It does. Out in the county on Monday the 8th, near Meadow Road and State Road 64, a maroon truck is just sitting in the ditch. Again, totally empty.
So when they finally tracked down the driver, what was the story?
The driver blamed fog.
Just fog.
Yep. Said his windows fogged up around 1 in the morning, so he drove straight into the ditch and hit get this, a pivot stop.
Oh, wow. For anyone listening who didn't grow up around farms, a pivot stop is not a small thing.
No, it's a huge concrete base for an irrigation system. It is absolutely immovable, and you'd think pretty hard to miss.
So the police aren't investigating a crime scene so much as they're just managing a road hazard.
That's it. Exactly. It makes you think, how much does something as simple as fog really raise the danger level on those roads? And the answer is clearly a lot.
Well, speaking of drama, it wasn't all just foggy windows. There was some big machinery involved. We have to talk about the logjam.
Oh, yeah. Friday, December 5th, County Road C in Rosedale. A pretty serious morning crash. A semi carrying logs jackknife right into the ditch.
That's a huge deal.
It's a massive deal. The road's covered in debris. You need heavy wreckers to pull it out. It basically shuts down that whole area.
So when local industry meets slick roads, the whole community feels it. And if the logging trucks are one antagonist, the other is, of course, the deer.
It is a relentless, ongoing battle. It's not just an occasional thing in these logs.
Not at all.
The sheer number of deer strikes is it's a huge part of life in Langlade County. On Wednesday, over near County Road D and County Road S, a single driver hit 2 deer.
2 at once.
In one go. And one was apparently still alive in the ditch. It just shows you the density of the population they're dealing with.
And it's not just damage to the car. Thursday, State Road 17 and County Road Q, that collision was serious enough to deploy the airbags. The driver had a possible broken wrist.
These are real injuries from something that happens all the time there.
Yeah.
But my favorite, and I say favorite in the most statistically absurd way, was the incident on Sunday near US 45. A blue Subaru hits a deer. Okay, standard stuff.
Right.
But before anyone can even react, a Dodge Durango that was following right behind them hits the exact same deer a second time.
You are kidding. An unwitting tag team.
It really tells you there's just zero margin for error if you're following too close on those roads.
The roads are just so treacherous.
They are. And, if the elements of the bad guy outside, the friction really starts to build inside once everyone's cooped up.
That's a perfect transition. Segment 2. Noise, nuisance, and neighborly feuds. This is where you get the real sociology of a small town.
Oh, yeah. This is where the police basically become community therapists.
For sure.
And these logs, they show you that exact moment where winter life clashes with, well, the need for quiet. Take Tuesday, December 2nd. It's 2:56 a.m.
Okay. Middle of the night.
A resident on 5th Avenue calls to complain about a loud plow.
Wait, complaining about the plow at 3 a.m., isn't that just the price of living where it snows?
You'd think so. Sometimes the police are just there to mediate something they can't actually fix. But other times, they solve genuine mysteries.
Like the suspicious beeping.
Yes. Near Mendlick and Claremont on Thursday. That sounds so ominous, right? Like a bomb or something.
Totally. You imagine the officer approaching cautiously and the grand finale.
The officer determined the suspicious beeping was just a dryer running.
Someone's laundry.
I just picture the officer standing there listening and realizing he's on a stakeout for a high-efficiency tumble cycle. It's just a perfect little moment of absurdity.
And from noise to our four-legged friends, dogs definitely kept the dispatchers busy.
They did. On Tuesday, an owner in Antigo got a warning to reduce the number of dogs on their property. A neighbor complained they were left outside pawing at the door.
So people are watching out for the animals.
They are, but that attention can also, turn into classic rivalries.
Oh, for sure.
The best example was Monday on Wausau Road. Police show up for a dispute that was about both snowblowing and dogs.
That's the small town conflict bingo card right there.
It is.
But, sometimes it's more serious. On Saturday, out on Trillium Lane, someone was bitten by a neighbor's dog, had to go to urgent care.
Right, the stakes aren't always low. But the animal complaint that really, I think, gives you a window into the soul of Langlade County.
Let me guess. The horse in a jacket.
The coat-wearing equine.
Yeah.
Yes. Friday, on County Road W, a concerned citizen calls because they see a horse wearing a jacket, but they're worried it doesn't have shelter.
So they called the cops.
They did.
Yeah.
And an officer responded, checked it out, and confirmed the horse had a blanket, food, water. It was perfectly fine.
But that's what's so amazing about it. It shows this incredible level of, mutual surveillance.
It's accountability.
Yeah.
People notice if a horse looks cold, they make the call.
Exactly. And that attention is everywhere, from the roads to the retail parking lots. Which brings us to our third segment, digital drama and local landmark loitering.
This is where you see modern life really colliding with these specific, very recognizable local spots.
Using places like Quick Trip or the Antigo Public Library, it just grounds the whole thing. It anchors these stories to a shared map.
It does. And Quick Trip shows up a lot. The one on State Road 64 was a helper on Tuesday. Police assisted someone with a flat tire there.
While the one on Superior Street was more of a hot spot for traffic stops.
And you see other retail drama, too. A theft at Little Caesars on Claremont. And right down the street, the Antigo Public Library had a trespassing issue on Tuesday with someone who wasn't allowed on the property.
But the really interesting shift here, I think, is how the feuds are moving, from the fence line to the fiber line.
The rise of digital policing. It's a huge challenge for these local departments.
How so?
We'll look at Wednesday on Manola Street. A harassment complaint. Someone's getting disturbing messages and threats sent through Messenger.
And what did the police do?
They advised the person to get a temporary restraining order. But for a small force, think about it. Managing digital threats that can cross state lines, it adds so many layers of complexity.
And the legal system has to catch up so fast. The bail jumping case from Saturday is a perfect example.
On County Road V, yeah. The subject was arrested because they violated a no-contact order. And how did they do it?
Snapchat.
By using Snapchat. It just shows that even in rural Wisconsin, the courts have to be social media experts now. The whole definition of contact has changed.
It's not just about being physically near someone anymore.
Not at all.
Okay, so beyond the digital drama, we have our usual checklist of just curious local incidents.
The odds and ends.
Right. The classic loitering call. People were told they couldn't just hang out in the Dunham's parking lot on Wednesday.
And then there's the more unsettling stuff. The gas cover tampering on State Road 64 on Sunday, someone messing with a vehicle. It's not a huge crime, but it's really invasive.
Super unsettling. But the award for the most geographically complicated story of the week has to go to the family dispute.
Oh, the one that started in Florida.
Yes. A caller who is in Florida reports that his son was just kicked out of a car on Sawyer Lake Road in Langlade County.
A family argument that spans 1,000 miles and still requires a local deputy to respond.
It's amazing.
It really is.
And to wrap it all up, that one perfect, bizarre footnote, the mysterious black Jeep.
Near the Neva Town Hall during a Giving Tree event on Sunday.
Just parked there, nobody around, prompted a call for extra patrols. Was it sinister? Or just someone dropping off a gift?
We'll never know. But that feeling, that heightened alertness is what makes these reports so great.
This whole deep dive it reveals the real texture of life there. It's this mix of really high-stakes physical dangers.
Logging trucks, deer collisions.
And these super low-stakes social grievances. A loud dryer. A horse that is, in fact, perfectly warm.
And the common thread, like you said, is the local landscape. State Road 64, Claremont Street. These are the stages where it all plays out. But, what's also important is that you still see community trust. People turn in a lost cell phone at 4th and Superior, a lost wallet on 5th Avenue. That still happens.
That's the real sign of a community, isn't it? Even if they do call the police about each other's laundry. So, we need a moral for the week. I think I have it. In Langlade County, you should worry less about what your neighbor is saying on Snapchat and a lot more about what's lurking just beyond your own fogged-up windshield.
That's pretty good. It really makes you wonder, though. What we've seen here is just early December. What happens when the first major snowstorm hits?
How high do those numbers jump? How much more dangerous does that black ice get?
Exactly.
Well, you better check your defroster, clear your windows, and keep your eyes peeled for deer. And maybe, just maybe, make sure your horse has a warm jacket.
Thanks for joining us for this confidential look at Langlade County. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.